individual acts like that hurt your football team. And we talk about that in general all the time. No matter what the comments are, what he's going to face that every week with people chirping, and that's not okay. And obviously, I addressed that on the sideline right after the play, and that's something he's going to have to deal with every week.
All right, let's talk it out. Week 1, almost in the books, and we're still talking Johnny Manziel. The man behind the hands is Mark May. I see nothing. And Lou Holtz to my left. Guys, this is going to be an issue, it looks like, throughout the season, because teams are not going to stop chirping, particularly now that they know that it bothers Manziel. Lou, if you're dealing with this situation, what advice would you give to Kevin Sumlin? How does he manage this?
If I was a head football coach and Johnny Manziel walked by me, I would have grabbed him by the jugular vein. Not that I meant him any physical harm. I want to be sure I had his undivided attention. And that would have been wrong. I think Kevin Sumlin handled it the proper way. Remember this, you do not criticize in public. You praise in public, you criticize in private. Remember this, when people need love and understanding the most is when they usually deserve it the least. And you have to handle it inside. You don't handle it publicly. I think Kevin Sumlin understands you cannot have a great team unless you're strong within. And this is hurting him inside. He'll get it corrected.
Well, he needs to get it corrected soon, because it's a situation now that Johnny Manziel just can't help himself. He keeps going to the line. You draw the line in the sand, he steps over that line. Draw the line in the sand, he steps over that line. It's going to come to a point in time where he's going to cost his football team. You can't go out there and disrespect the game as he's done like this, and his head coach when he walks by like this, and he's going to bench him against Rice for a quarter in a meaningless game. Something's got to be done. Somebody's got to get his attention saying this is not acceptable, and until someone does, he's going to continue to behave like this.
I agree with you completely, but let's remember this. This problem did not happen last year. He wasn't that type. Only after he got all the recognition, and Kevin will handle it. I feel confident. If he doesn't, his team will fall apart. But Kevin is a smart coach.
He better do it sooner, so he's going to start losing the locker room.
He's probably doing it today.
Saying, well, if Johnny can do it, why can't I do it?
Sure, yeah. Well, guys, the shame of it is, overshadowed here was the fact that he played pretty good.
He did.
On the field, just his play. What stood out to you?
Outstanding. His command of this offense. He knows this offense like the back of his hand. Whenever you can go out there and throw the ball 8 times, complete it 6 times for 3 touchdowns, you know that you know this offense. Doesn't matter if he's in the pocket or outside of the pocket, he can make plays with this offense, and he's very comfortable in this offense.
What surprised me was the fact that he didn't scramble as well as he has in the past. This is a quarterback that led the SEC in rushing last year. In a half, he got less than 20 yards rushing. He also has a lot of game breakers by him. He didn't going to have to do it by himself this year.
All right, let's talk about some other quarterbacks in Week 1, because clearly there were some standouts. Teddy Bridgewater played well. Boyd looked very good for Clemson. Braxton Miller got it done for Ohio State. Derek Carr was huge in a win for Fresno State, overtime win against Rutgers. Lou, what signal caller impressed you most in Week 1?
Oh, there were a lot of great performances, but none come close to what Taj Boyd did. He was involved in a big game. This is 2 top 10 teams playing. All he did was count for 5 touchdowns, threw for 270 yards, 3 touchdowns, rushed for 42 yards, 2 touchdowns, led his team flawlessly, handled the ball, handled the team in a big game. Nobody else had the competition he had last week.
Well, there's a couple of them. You look at Marcus Mariota from Oregon. He broke the school record, 772 yards, and without Chip Kelly there. And the one that really stands out to me is this one right here, Teddy Bridgewater, going 23 of 28, completing his first 9 passes to 8 different receivers in this game, and 5 touchdowns ties his personal high, career high. And the way that he commanded this offense right out of the gate, it looks like he just stepped off the field from the Sugar Bowl last year and just continued his play, because he was magnificent in this game.
It's going to be fun to watch the quarterbacks this year. Way too early to start talking Heisman, but those are some of the names that will creep into the conversation as we play into October. All right, Week 1 wraps tonight. It's the much-anticipated debut of Jameis Winston for the Seminoles, number 11 Florida State, taking on
Panthers. At my Panthers.
Pitt, 8 Eastern. You'll see it on ESPN. Mark, besides this being year 2 of the Paul Chryst era for your alma mater, what are you most excited about when it comes to watching Winston tonight?
Because he's a redshirt freshman in his first start coming to Heinz Field playing against my Panthers. That's what I'm excited about. We got an opportunity to do some great things. No, but when you look at Jimbo Fisher, you know you've got a young quarterback, and he's done a great job with quarterbacks when he was at LSU and out Florida State, that developing these young quarterbacks. This is going to be a good one if he likes him. He really likes this young quarterback, his mobility and what he can do. But the key is I hope he throws for like 3,800 yards this year, but about 100 of those come against my Panthers.
Wishful thinking, Lou?
No, it is wishful thinking. You know, here's the thing he has to remember. He has 4 offensive linemen coming back. He's got good running backs, great talent around him. He doesn't have to win the game himself. All he has to do is eliminate the bad play. Doesn't have to make the great play. But here's what scares me, Mark. He also has 2 highly recruited quarterbacks behind him. There was a strong competition all during spring. Is he going to go into this game and say, I got to prove I deserve it, or am I just going to be the quarterback? That's critical.
Great point.
All right, Florida State and Pitt put a bow on week 1 of the college season. Lou Holtz, Mark May. You'll see them throughout the day here on ESPN. Guys, thanks.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.